Hey everybody, welcome back. This is our weekly podcast. We were in Dallas. As I left you last week, we were in Dallas for our league meetings on the 13th and 14th. It was an exciting time. It was a good event as far as knowing what was going on from the beginning. As you know, last year I kind of jumped in the middle of the year and kind of got a quick lesson on how the NBDL ran. And this has been a great start for me as far as being there for 2 days with all the other coaches. We had all the officials from the NBDL offices, Chris Albert, Stu Jackson from the NBA offices, and just went through their mentorship program. We have basically some great coaches that will be helping us during the year with Bob Hill and Steve Mix will be involved with us and kind of being coaching and big men mentors during the course of the year. And then we went over our rules and regulations as far as trades, transactions. And then obviously the big news during that time that we were there in Dallas was our draft order. We get to pick 5th. I'm excited about that. I think we'll get a good player there. I know that in the past that pick has done very well, so I believe there'll be a quality player there. Probably, I'm hoping that is a former NBA player, at least has some NBA experience at that position. And then we'll go through the draft from there and do the best we can as far as picking our players. The league meetings were fantastic. Like I said, on the 13th and 14th, got to see all the coaches, all the new coaches, also some of the new assistant coaches that will be involved during the course of this year. And like I said, we went through the manual of the do's and don'ts of how the league runs, which was very informative for me since last year. Obviously, I took the team over and kind of did it on the fly. Also, they had a very well-planned event. I mean, it was very professional, great meetings. I had a nice get-together on Monday night in Dallas, just outside the airport there at Champs, and had a nice little dinner for all the coaches. It was also a very nice event as far as just the organizational from the owner standpoint. My owner enjoyed himself. It was one of his first times actually going down to this event and thought it was very informative along the way as far as what he learned, and got to meet some other owners and bond with some of them. So overall for us and the Bakersfield Jam, I thought it was a great start to the year. I was very appreciative of Chris Albert answering a lot of questions that have gone on over the past year, trying to change some rules, trying to implement some new rules. I think the league is going to be very innovative this year, and we're looking for a great year. With 16 teams, it should be exciting. They expanded the playoff run, so that is also going to be helpful. They'll take the top 3 teams from each division, and then they'll take the 5 next best records from there. So 8 teams out of the 16 will have a chance to make the playoffs. So obviously that also helps us in the long run as far as increasing your percentage to get into the playoffs. Also, during those meetings, we had a chance to go over trade rules, drafting rules, game ops, just the general things that make this league run very professional. We also had George Tolliver in from the referees, kind of gave us an overview of some of the new nuances of what they're going to be calling this year, along with his expectations from the coaches and his expectations from his refereeing crew. One thing that was interesting is over the last 8 years, any referee that has made it into the NBA has gone through the NBDL. So this has been a great tool for the NBA, and it's obviously growing not only coaches and staff, but obviously referees. And so that was also kind of neat to know that these guys are also working just as hard as some of the coaches and people in the front office trying to reach their dream of getting into the NBA in some capacity. So like I said, it was very informative, and we're looking forward to get going. We have a little bit of a lull here the next 2 weeks as we get ready for the draft. They're going to start releasing names to us, and we'll get a pool of 160 players that we'll end up picking from. I'll go a little more in detail of that next week in our next podcast, but over the next 2 weeks, we're just going to be doing some background work, accumulating these names and seeing who's out there, and then getting ready to draft on November 7th. So we're excited. It's right around the corner, and we look forward to having a great year. Once again, if you have any questions, as we get going here, I'll have some coaches from other teams. I'll have our own players once we get going, and we'll have some other interviews going on as the season cranks up. But if you have any questions in the meantime, you can always email those to me at sroth@bakersfieldjam.com. That's sroth@bakersfieldjam.com. And we look forward to talking to you next week, and we'll have an update on kind of how the draft actually is going to work and kind of give you a little bit of insight of what's going on there. And we look forward to talking to you then. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.